Here we go. Probably shouldn't look them wrong. Hello, everyone. You are listening to Those Other Girls with Mallory and Friends. I'm Mallory.
And I'm Freeman.
And we are changing culture and bringing back traditional values.
As always.
Always. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, I want to let you know this is a pop culture podcast, not like other pop culture podcasts.
No.
We're talking about life, career, relationships, everything in between, pop culture, obviously. But we're doing it from a Christian conservative perspective. So, don't change the podcast because you're going to want to hear our opinions on things, and it might not be what you think it is.
That's why we're those other girls.
Exactly. And we're not fuddy-duddies. We both dress really well. I was about to say a specific type of dress, but I'm not going to say that. We're not fuddy-duddies. I'll just leave it at that. And we actually like pop culture and things of that nature. So it'll be a different episode than what you're expecting.
For sure.
Okay, we have a lot to get into today. So much has happened this week. Our cup overfloweth with stories. And, but before that, is there anything interesting this week that you want to tell the audience about that's happening on a personal level?
My mother got chickens. I have siblings.
Okay.
And I am losing it with excitement. The cuteness overload is real. I can't take it, Mallory.
Oh, okay.
They're so cute. And I want my mom to name them after me, my aunt, and her, because she's got three female chickens. Because, side note, she decided not to get a male because apparently, like, when chickens mate, it's very violent, and she did not want to be a part of that. So she got three girls, and I want her to name one Nicole, which is my middle name, one Anne, which is my mom's middle name, and one Campbell, which is my aunt's middle name. But she can't decide on what she's going to name them because she wants to know their personalities. So I will let you all know what the names are.
That is so funny and so cute.
I know.
I did see the pictures on your Instagram and your story. They are adorable. And I don't even like chickens like that, but little tiny ones are cute. I will say. They looked adorable.
And she got like these like ridiculous Polish. She got a Polish one and she got a silky. And the Polish ones are like huge and like have these crazy colors and fur. And then the silkies literally look like puffballs.
Those are the ones that I think are so adorable.
Yes, they look like a stuffed animal or something. Anyways, I can't handle it. Mallory, what happened to you this week?
What happened to me this week? Nothing. I think this was maybe work-wise, like in my real people job, very busy. So like my, after work life was not that busy. I didn't do much because I was just so busy and tired with my real people job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say but no. I look forward
no
to
buts.
today's. Yeah, literally no buts. I
that was
look
it.
forward. Yeah. I look forward to recording. This is my happy spot. Like today I was so tired when I was like driving home, like low key dozing off a little bit. Yeah, not good. But I live life on the edge. And low-key dozing off, and then like maybe like 20 minutes before the podcast when I was like setting things up in my room and getting ready, felt like a jolt of energy. This is what like the podcast really does wake me up. It gets me alive. Now as soon as we're done, honestly we probably can't chit chat because I'm gonna like KO because we do have to get up early tomorrow. We have love life. But like I have like this new burst of energy. I'm excited to get into the stories. We have some good ones, some not so good ones, things we do need to discuss because we're going to be discussing everything that's going on in the world, everything within reason.
Not all 7 billion of you.
Yeah. Not every story is worth it, but anyway, every person is worth it. Not every story though.
Sure.
But yeah, so that's kind of been it for me this week, getting ready for the tea party, which leads me to the announcements really quick. Our tea party, the theme is take back pink. And we're going to be talking like authentic godly femininity, not this fake femininity where you're talking, you see all these things on Instagram nowadays about our feminine energies and blah, blah, blah. We're not talking about that. We're talking about godly femininity. And that's going to be April 15th. So it's going to be literally 2 weeks from the day this episode goes out. I cannot wait to see everybody there. We only have 4 tickets left. So if you have not gotten your ticket, yes, if you have not gotten your ticket yet, do it today. Like, yeah. Keep listening to this episode. Go ahead and open your phone. Go to the website, thosearethegirls.com/events, and get your ticket. Be excited. We're gonna wear garden party clothes. That's the theme, like garden party, pretty flower, cuteness. And we're gonna be having conversations, taking lots of pictures. That is the theme of it. And then I want to tell you guys the fashion show, the Culture of Life fashion show is the day before. If you have not joined our Patreon, you should join our Patreon. The latest Patreon episode is a conversation that I have with a PA that specializes in femme. And it's actually really, really good. It's a good conversation. I'm going to be using her to work on some things with health. And it's really good. And it's something I think all of us should be thinking about and looking at. And then lastly, we have merch, really cute merch, Barbie collection merch, sweatshirts like this, mugs like this to celebrate your Saturday mornings. And that's thosearethegirls.com/merch. That's all the announcements. So we should really get into it because we do have a lot of stories to go over today. A lot of big things have happened. Not even going to do the whole sponsor thing. I'm just going to get into it. So if you are fatigued talking about what happened in Nashville and you just want some escapism, which I completely understand. We are not meant to know everything all the time. So if you do feel that way, you can fast forward to, we're going to do an ad, and then the rest are just like silly, like escapism type stories.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why we don't usually talk about shootings and things like that on the podcast is, unfortunately, I mean, we'd have one probably every week.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's where we are in society. A. B. Sometimes I feel as if nothing I'm going to say is going to be any different than what the other 10 conservatives are going to say, or the other, 10 Christians are going to say. Like, I feel like my opinion is just going to be repeating the same thing. So it's like, why add to it? Maybe I can recommend some other things to people. And the third reason is I also really want the podcast to be a form of escapism for those that want to kind of just get away from some of the tough, heavy topics. I did feel as if this is something we should discuss. This one just feels different for a myriad of reasons. I think just how when we hear stories of people being hurt, we can, if it's someone that is similar to us, we feel as if we can relate. For example, Gabby Petito. I know a lot of people felt very connected to her and were very obsessed, for lack of a better word, with her story because they could relate to her. And I think that because for myself, it was a Christian school. The shooter was 28 and the shooter was a female. That blew my mind. I think that just all these little touch points were just like, oh my goodness, what? And it just seems to be just something that I really feel as if we should discuss. I also want to say the victims of this are not more valuable than the victims of previous shootings that we haven't discussed. It's just that this is the particular one we're discussing because it's my show. So, yeah. A couple things I want to say. We are not going to say her name, and we're just going to go ahead and use she, her pronouns because everyone else has, and, I don't care. If I'm being quite honest.
Yeah.
Sure. And I'm going to, I might even dive more into that in a little bit. So, just so you can know. So, what I'm going to be reading is the most up-to-date as of March 31st. The way things are going, we could know something after we record this. Yeah. I'm going to go to bed and I might wake up and there could be new information. But as of March 31st, this is what we know. Okay, so this is going to be an NBC News article. And if you want to go ahead and fast forward, now would be the time to do it. Here's everything we know about the Nashville elementary school shooting. 6 people, including 3 children, were killed in Nashville on Monday when a heavily armed former student returned in a planned attack on a private Christian school. The 28-year-old former student shot through the locked doors of the Covenant School just after 10 a.m., police said. In less than an hour, the shooter was killed after confrontation with multiple Metropolitan Nashville police officers. Investigators are studying writings the shooter left, but the Metropolitan Nashville Police Chief John Drake said that the resentment may have been a partial motive in the attack.
Ooh, resentment.
Yes. Quote, "There's some belief that there was some resentment for having to go to the school," Drake told Lester Holt. The Covenant School enrolled students from pre-K through 6th grade. 3 9-year-old students, a custodian, a substitute teacher, and the head of the school were killed in the attack. The victims. And this part I did really want to talk about because these are people who we should say their names. These are people that matter, that are important in this story.
Yeah.
Or this, not even story, this tragic event. The 6 people who were killed Monday included 3 adult members, the head of the school, Catherine Kuntz, 60, substitute teacher Cynthia Peak, 61, and custodian Mike Hill, 61. A letter to students and family written by Kuntz, a Vanderbilt University graduate who had a doctorate in education, remains on the school's website.
Wow.
Hill's family said in a statement that he was a father of 7 and a grandfather of 14 who loved to cook and spend time with his family. Quote, "As we grieve and try to grasp any sense of understanding of why this happened, we continue to ask for his support," Hill's family said. "We pray for the Covenant School and are so grateful that Michael was beloved by the faculty and students who filled him with joy for 14 years. 3 9-year-old students were killed: Evelyn Dinkus, Haley Scruggs, and William Kinney. Evelyn Dinkus loved to perform and often offered the neighborhood Broadway-inspired performances. Her next-door neighbor, Nick Regal, said, quote, "She was everything 9-year-olds should be," end quote. So here's the suspect. The police named this person as the sole suspect, saying that a nearby car helped identify the shooter. Drake said that officials believe the person may have identified as transgender, but did not provide more information. The person legally purchased 7 firearms through 5 local gun stores, police said Tuesday. The person's parents were aware of only 1 gun, which they believe had been sold. Drake said Tuesday that the person had been receiving care for, quote, "an emotional disorder," but did not offer additional details regarding a diagnosis or treatment. Former headmaster Bill Campbell said that he believed that the person transferred out of the Covenant School after the 1st grade, citing old yearbooks as evidence. Campbell said that nothing about the person stood out as a potential red flag and called the person a typical child who was loved and appreciated like all of our students. Metropolitan Public Schools said that the person attended Isaiah Creswell Middle School. Okay, this is not relevant. Avina Patton, who played basketball with the person in middle school, said she saw a concerning message from this person on Instagram about 20 minutes before the shooting. The message indicated suicidal ideation, talking about not wanting to live anymore, and saying that the person's family was unaware of what was about to happen. In the last message, the person said that something bad was about to happen and asked for forgiveness. Alarmed, Patton consulted her father, who urged her to contact officials. Patton said she initially reached out to a suicide prevention hotline and was told that someone would be sent out. A police spokesperson said Patton's call came in at 10:21 after the shooting started. Quote, "I'm still trying to understand, just to learn that I received a message before. It's just like, wow," she said, "just pray." So, yeah. That's the most we have right now. And there is a manifesto, and we don't know what's in the manifesto. And this person targeted this Christian school on purpose.
Yep.
And that's, in my opinion, a hate crime.
Yeah.
And I guess we're also waiting to see if this well, they can't be charged, but I don't think I've heard anyone say it's considered a hate crime other than Christians.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that there is a little bit of conversation about whether or not it's a hate crime. I know that NPR said that the police say that, that people do believe that the attack was, quote, targeted, that is, against Christians, and that was what a few, I think, senators and Republicans have said. And they have been calling for federal agencies to investigate the shooting as a hate crime. I feel, though, in my mind, and I don't know if this is necessarily relevant, but I feel like in order for it to be a hate crime, doesn't there have to be some kind of declaration? Or maybe that's not true. Maybe it's just in your own heart you hate this group. Maybe you don't have to even say it publicly. But I mean, do you know anything really about the qualities for a hate crime?
I think you have to prove that this person was looking for a specific type of people. Mm-hmm. So in the manifesto, which that's another conversation we definitely should have. In the manifesto, if there is a part in there specifically that says and I'm mad at the Christians, and people are also discussing that just recently Tennessee passed a ban, I believe, that allowed a law that would ban children getting transgender surgeries.
Yeah.
Yes, which I think everyone should be okay with. Children should not be getting life-altering surgeries. So, and they're saying that happened about a week ago before this happened. So they're people are speculating some sort of connection to that. So if in the manifesto it says something like, I am specifically mad at Christians. This is a Christian school I'm aware of. Here I am going to hurt the people at this Christian school. Then
yeah,
that's that. And I guess, and the next question is should they release the manifesto? With all the information that we know now, a lot of us are speculating. We are speculating whether it really was a planned attack on Christians. It seems to be that way. We're speculating whether, I think I heard someone or on the news or something like that said that she was being counseled by the daughter, the pastor whose daughter she murdered.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
how can a parent help others when they're grieving like that?
Yeah. So, well, no. The murderer killed the pastor's child.
And you said the pastor was counseling other people?
No, it was counseling her. The murderer.
Oh.
Yeah. The pastor was counseling the murderer.
Wow.
This is speculation. This is what I heard on the news. Once again, no one's really sure because they're not really sharing too much, which I understand. I understand why. So there's the aspect of don't share too much because you don't want copycats. There was supposed to be the Day of Vengeance this weekend and all these things going on online. I'm not sure how big that was going to be, if that was just a couple of people, that aren't going to do anything, or if it was a legit thing. But, there are people who could do copycats. That's something that's definitely a possibility. But at the same time, I think as the public, we have the right to know what this person, the manifesto, what this person was.
In order for justice to be served, in order for this to go down in books as what it was.
Yes. Again, I think it's good to know so we can be on the lookout for randos in our lives that could be experiencing some sort of whatever this is. I also saw this post, Samuel Say said that why this mental illness, because we don't really know if the person's mentally ill, but we do know what they did was evil. And that's where I'm standing too. We say mental illness a lot, and I used to say mental illness all the time, but I guess really when I think about it, what happened was evil. There's not, and I feel mental illness kind of gives it almost an excuse now if they were to come out and say that, okay, they did an autopsy of the brain and there was a part of their empathy was missing.
Prefrontal lobe or something.
Yeah, was missing. Okay. No excuse, that's still wrong and evil, but okay.
Like there's a deformity of some kind.
Yes.
A physical ailment.
Yes. And, yeah.
Rather than just, like, poor decision-making.
Right. And it's like, if this was specifically targeted, this school, because, okay, my first thought process, I got the notification, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. That sounds like a Christian school.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It is a Christian school.
I know.
And oh, my goodness. It's a woman?
I know.
That was my next thought.
I know. And then, once finding out that it was a woman, I was like, don't tell me this was a transgender person. I was literally on my drive getting my chickens with my mom and my aunt, and we were like, how wild would it be if this was a transgender person? And we were like, no way. Like,
I didn't think so either, to be honest. I just was like, this is weird. Like, when women, and I will say, I was like, women don't do this. Like, so there have been 3 women to commit mass murders. 2 of them were with a male, and the other, I forgot, the other was just like a weird oddity in the entire U.S. So this is the 4th person to do it.
That's why I was so surprised that it was a woman. I was like, but not a biological woman.
Right. That was what I was wondering too. Or
I guess, because I think it was female to male, because that's what I heard.
Yes, it's female to male.
So then I guess it is a biological woman, but a woman with a lot of testosterone.
Yes.
Who can't, I don't know, and I don't want to impose my own, like, like, philosophies and, like, speculations onto what happened, because I don't know. But I know that, like, I can't take, like, too much protein powder without feeling, like, amped up. Like, let alone, like, testosterone injections, let alone even having a mental illness. I mean, like, there's just levels on top of levels of, like, red freaking flags.
And that's why I think it would just be really nice if someone with the police or a psychologist could go and do, like, a primetime interview and kind of sit down and lay it all out for us. Because I do think we deserve the right to know, especially with the way the whole world is so polarizing right now. I think it will just do everyone a benefit. It will do everyone a good, it would just be good for all of us to just know what happened, what was the motivation, what was this person taking, like, since they were taking some drugs, like, just like the lady.
How can we avoid this in the future? Like,
exactly.
That's the question. That should be, how can we protect our children? Ultimately, put aside your political differences. How do we protect our children?
Because something needs to be done. I think that whatever we're doing is not working. I don't know. I don't know what needs to be done. That's not my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and act like, well, this is the legislation that needs to be put out. I'm not going to do that because I don't have the answers. But something needs to be done. I will support whoever has the best, whoever has the best policy. Like, whatever needs to be done, something needs to be done. Because we can't keep doing this. It cannot keep happening like this. And I'm sorry. I can tell you what I don't like. I don't like the idea of every teacher being armed. I'm sorry. That sounds absolutely bonkers.
Yes.
You can,
kids get a hold of these things.
I was also thinking, like, some of these kids are crazy these days. Like, if teachers are under a lot of pressure, like, I just don't think teachers should have that responsibility.
Yeah.
If a teacher wants to be armed, I'm not necessarily opposed to that. If they have passed classes, if they can prove that they are responsible and they can lock it up, okay, I'm not necessarily opposed to that. But, look, I don't think every teacher should do it.
Well, teachers are only making, like, $25,000. So, like, how much can we expect them to be able to do? Are they really first responders now?
Yeah, whatever burdens, like, we need to lighten the load as much as possible. I also really don't like the idea of having, like, retired military men, like, pacing up and down the school, I think that that's probably the direction we're going to go in.
Yeah.
But I personally don't like that idea because, like, then, you know, if we're a third world country, like,
right.
I can't just drop my kid off. I also hate I'm just giving you the things that I hate. I don't, once again, I don't have solutions. I also hate the idea of, like, that little door. I've been seeing people, like, someone created this, oh, your teacher pulls this and now your kids are in a bulletproof area. And it's like, that's, what? No, that doesn't sound like a good idea either. I don't know what the answer is, but once again, something needs to be done. And like I said, I'll support whoever has the best solution.
Well, something that was like also something that I can say no to, just like you're saying no to a bunch of these things, I can say no to assault rifles. Like, I know for me, like, I am very uncomfortable with the fact that this person was able to click one button and kill 6 people. Like, this is not something that I think you should just be able to have on hand. Like, I do not believe that, like, anything that's meant to kill this many people with this intensity and severity should be just in the hands of a normal citizen. I just feel like this is like war guns that are used, at least in this scenario. I know it's a hot take, but
yeah, that is a hot take.
I'm not a fan of assault rifles at all. I think the intent is to kill, and I think that's a red flag, and I don't think that sets us up for success at all.
I can say I don't know enough about those type of guns to have an opinion either way, but something has to give. Something needs to be done.
Sure.
I don't know enough to say yay or nay, because I don't even know what you mean, like, pull one trigger and it.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
I don't even understand.
I don't know guns either. Like,
I don't know, but so that's
yeah. If you see the video, it like
yeah, and that's just from one. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And like this gun is like bigger than this person's like head to torso. Like, this is a huge gun. Like, this is not a handgun.
Yeah.
And also, like, okay, I feel like people can and do survive handgun bullets, but I don't think that people survive this kind of bullet. I don't know what the difference is really, to be honest, but it looks way more intense and deadly than a normal handgun.
Yeah, that's for sure. That it does look more. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with you.
If people in the comments like know what we're trying to say and can articulate it better, like, please do, and prove me wrong. Like, I don't have an opinion, a strong opinion either way, but like, hey, what else can we do, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm just speculating. I'm just like,
yeah. And what are some suggestions? Like, and we both don't really know much about guns, so if you guys know more about it, like, educate me. I don't know, and that's why, like I said, I'm not offering solutions. I can tell you ideas I think are bad, but I can't offer you solutions. I just know something needs to be done. So let us know in the comments, like, what you think should be done. Let us know. Educate us on guns, and then let us know, do you think that they should release the manifesto? What do you think, Freeman? Do you think they should or shouldn't?
I think they should. I don't think they need to give us, like, the nitty-gritty as to, like, how they...
Right. I don't think they need to copy and paste it. Like,
yeah, I just think, like, give us the warnings. Give us things that we can learn from. If we can't... if we can learn from these signs, if we can learn from... They were sold something illegally, which... If somebody with a mental illness is being given a machine gun like this, I think something's going wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, what, like, I have to imagine, there was escalation that could have been avoided.
Yes, because no one just wakes up and decides,
yeah,
I think I'm gonna shoot completely innocent 9-year-olds that have nothing to do with anything, and while on that, I'll shoot 3 other people. No one wakes up and does that, so there has to be other things that led up to that. There has to be. So yes, it would be nice if they could let us know what that was. They could inform us.
It's heartbreaking.
What were the warning signs? Yeah. And I just want to say, I don't want to say thoughts and prayers because that just feels so fake now, but I mean, really, what can we as just regular people do other than pray for them? And I know that they, at least the people who have spoken out, are believers and that they would appreciate prayers. So I do feel comfortable saying that we are praying for everyone who has been affected by the shooting.
And the souls of the departed. I mean, I don't know where this person is right now.
Yeah, I've thought about that, like...
and I hate saying, like, you're in hell or you're burning, I hope you're burning. And, like, I don't hope they're burning, but I hope and pray justice is being served in some way.
Justice is definitely being... From what we... On the surface, unless there was a moment where she was dying and she said, Lord, forgive me... I guess it also depends on your theology about this, but from the Protestant perspective, unless there's a moment when she's dying and she is truly repentant, not just like, oh God, no, but like a true repentance, unless there was that moment when she died, this is from the Protestant perspective, there's only one place she is.
Yeah. Like, well, what do you think, though, about asking forgiveness before you act? Because it sounds like she did that. Do you feel like that's BS?
Well, you're not really sorry if you're still going to do it.
Yeah.
So, like, true repentance is being sorry and, like, making a change to different. So, like, even in our own lives, if we are going out for I'll just use this example. Right before you go and you have sex with your boyfriend, oh God, please forgive me, and then you go have sex with your boyfriend. You're not really sorry.
Yeah.
If you were sorry, you wouldn't have done it. If you were sorry, you would make steps. Now, if you do have sex with your boyfriend, you feel bad about it, you ask God for forgiveness, and then you take the steps to not do it again. Maybe you stumble, but like the idea is you have to take true steps. You have to truly be repentant. Or really, I mean, you're just saying stuff at that point. And God knows your heart. So you can say, and you can get on your knees at church and, oh, Lord, forgive me. You can do all that stuff. But if you're not really taking the steps, if you're not really trying, if it isn't really in your heart, if it's not really your heart's desire, then it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I believe justice is being served in some way, and I can rest easy knowing that. And I can also rest easy knowing that Jesus is holding these victims and their families so, so close to his heart. And that also gives me comfort and peace.
Yeah. I heard somewhere that the father of the little girl that died said something like, well, Jesus loves her more than I ever could, or something like that.
Oh my gosh, Mallory.
I can't even imagine. I know.
Mallory. That is so, so heartbreaking.
I know.
Can you imagine?
And the level of faith you have to have this
that's
tragedy.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, the level of faith. I can't imagine. I don't have kids, but, I have people I love very much. And I just can't imagine them being killed in such a horrific way.
Yeah. You're right, it is evil. There's...
Right, like, as a human, we want to be like, excuse me, no, it's evil. Because, and, let's say she did have a problem. Let's say we find out that she had a problem even with the headmaster. Even though, this is the other thing I was thinking, and then we really need to move on. So, she's 28. Okay, I'm 28. We graduated high school in 2013. Okay, but this goes from pre-K to 6th grade. Alright, so that was over 15 years ago. So, you purposely targeted your school. So, does that mean you've been holding on to these things for over 15 years? And if you have, like, what? And it just also goes to show you guys, like, whatever, like, don't hold on to things.
Yeah.
What she did was pure evil, so I know for a fact nobody listening is evil. But, don't hold on to things. Because that's the other thing I was saying. I was like, it had to be over 15 years
I know.
since she attended the school.
There's so many unanswered questions right now, and I don't know
we need the answers, but you're right. I don't know if they will tell us, but I think we need the answers. Anyway, like we said, we are praying for everyone affected, and we know justice. We do know justice was served. Whether we don't know how the justice was served, but we can make our speculations. But we do know justice was served because God is a just God. Absolutely. That's one thing I know about God is He's just.
Yeah. Amen.
All right, so on to brighter stories. But first, let's do an ad. The next fun, brighter, happier stories are brought to you by Garnu. It's a girls-only club. They have products that embrace women's innate femininity. They have 100% cotton core tampons. And your subscription will help support feminine hygiene training and female entrepreneurship to Nepali women and girls who are vulnerable to trafficking. You can listen to episode 145 and hear from Macy, who's the founder. And then you can head over to Garnu, GARNUU.com, and use the code OtherGirls10 to get 10% off of your purchase.
Ooh.
Okay, so the next story isn't really a story, it's just more of like an update on a previous story that is like really good and happy and like shifts the mood.
And also, I love it when podcasts say, we'll keep you updated on the story, and then actually do.
Yes, because we did say we would keep you updated.
We did.
And the update, I'm going to call her Angela White because that's who she wants to be referred to now. All formerly known as Blac Chyna. She has, according to TMZ, she joined TMZ Live to fill them in on why she decided to rebrand. She said she wanted to focus on motherhood, music, and her new business ventures. She says her kids were a big reason for the change, and she was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. Angela says the turnaround started for her when she was baptized last year on her birthday, something that helped her find peace in every aspect of her life. Angela's transformation includes getting rid of face fillers, getting breast reduction, and even removing some tattoos. She also recently ditched her incredibly profitable OnlyFans account. So, yay!
That's wild. I will say, I looked up Angela White because I think that's what I was told was her new name, or what I saw. And anyways, an Australian adult film actress came up, so I'm hoping that's just some kind of weird coincidence that, like, they share the same name.
Yeah. Her birth certificate name is Angela White.
Okay. Okay. Because like I don't think that like any other. I think TMZ is like one of the only things to catch on to this. The only outlet. So don't look up Angela White quite yet. To all my viewers.
No. I have seen some other things, like some small like Black magazine article stuff about that, and I want to say there was a point where like, or she and Rob had a show, and I want to say like one time. I want to say I've heard Rob call her, like, yell at her, Angela. I want to say that. I could be wrong. I want to say that. Funny. And I feel like I want to say that because when you are mad at someone, you start using their real name. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Well, this is good news. And I did not know she was even baptized. Did you?
I know. I didn't know she was baptized.
There was actually an image of her baptism in this article. And you guys should go
look at it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll link it. I was just like, well, praise God. I pray that she gets in good Christian community and she's able to just go off on this path. I've seen some pictures of her recently. She's looking healthy.
Yes.
Looks very pretty. Her face looks so, like, normal. It doesn't have the little flatter things.
The spiderweb eyelashes.
Yeah. She no longer is wearing those. Praise God. That's probably the biggest transformation. And, I'm happy for her.
And here's another example of God using children, to come into your life and to transform you into His image, Children have this amazing power of making you look into yourself and think, how do I want them to perceive me? So I just think this is such a pro-life story, honestly.
It is. Yeah, I guess it really is. And I mean, think about all the times, you know, if you guys listen to Diapers and Degrees, or like even other random stories you hear on the internet of people who are like, yeah, well, my life kind of sucked and I was upset and frustrated because of X, Y, and Z. But then I got pregnant and somehow, like, I focused more and my life literally changed.
Yes, yeah. Like depression is healed. Like things, like you just have meaning. You have meaning and purpose.
Yes, low key. Sometimes I'm like, man, where is my husband so I can get?
I'm like, I need meaning and purpose.
Feeling. Yeah, like I need meaning and purpose. Like I love to get rid of this. Like, come on. No, just joking. But yeah, so that was just the update. So now we have like 2 stories and then like a fun story. Okay, so the next story is from Washington Post, New York Post, not Washington Post, same thing pretty much. And this is an interesting statistic thing that happened. Everybody was talking about, and I wanted us to talk about. And the New York Times actually has an article, and if I remember, I will link that one too. I don't like to link the New York Times just because, like, there's a paywall. Like, I want everybody to be able to read it, but I do want to link. I will start linking it if I'm kind of getting something from it, just in case someone does have New York Times. Even though I wish I would like it to be accessible for everybody. Anyway, so this is from the New York Post. Traditional values like patriotism, religion, and community have plunged dramatically among Americans.
Ooh.
The Wall Street Journal NORC survey found that 38% of Americans say patriotism is very important to them, down from 70% who said the same in 1998.
70 to 38?
Yes. The percentage of Americans who said raising children was very important fell to 30 in the new poll from 59% in 1998. Meanwhile, the share of Americans who valued involvement in their community as very important fell to 27%, down from a high of 62% in 2019. Wow. Wow. The last time the question was polled, one virtue long associated with liberals, a belief in tolerance for others, is now deemed very important by 58% of Americans, down from 80% 4 years ago.
Oh no.
By contrast, the only value that has grown in worth to Americans. Have you looked at it already? Do you know? Okay. I was going to have you guess. I should have. Anyway, is, you guys, money. With 43% calling it very important compared to 31% who said the same in 1998.
You're kidding.
So.
Oh my gosh.
This is awful. This is just not good.
Oh wow. Okay, the ones that stuck out to me was
what stuck out to you?
I think patriotism and community involvement. I'm not really that surprised. I guess I'm not really that surprised that patriotism, having children, and religion are less important to Americans. I am really surprised that community involvement is less important, because I feel like there's always some kind of community event happening in my area. I feel like I'm always seeing, flyers for fun runs and walks and like donation things and fundraisers and bike rides, and I'm just really, really surprised, like gardening and things like that I'm really surprised to hear is lowered. I mean, I feel like I'm just so surprised. I would love to know what if this is, I mean, I imagine it's both left and right wing people saying these are less important, but I would love to know the difference between Democrats and Republicans saying that patriotism is less important versus, religion, having children, community involvement, and money. You know what I mean? I would love to see the difference in like religions, sexes, political parties, those kinds
race.
Of things.
I'd be interested in race as well.
Yeah, age,
And age, yeah. I think part of the reason why I think patriotism has gone down is because I think if you actually ask the average American, if you sat down, okay, let's discuss how you feel about America. I think the average American is patriotic. I mean, The World Cup happens. You go uptown. Everybody's in red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
I think patriotism, unfortunately, has like a negative connotation now. So people who just average people, I don't mean people who are indwelled in politics, just like average person, kind of cringes at the term. So I think that could be the reason why it has gone down. There's people I know who would consider themselves on the left, and they're still, you talk to them even about traveling, proud to be Americans. You guys, having an American passport is a blessing. You guys, being American, we have hit the jackpot. We are very, very blessed.
Yeah.
And I think the average person knows that. But I think that patriotism, maybe if it was worded differently, it would have gotten a new response. Religion, I'm not surprised. Having children, not surprised. Community involvement, I was surprised. And it's also shocking it went from 62 to 27. Like, that's the biggest drop. And I will say it was 62 in 2019. It was 27 now. I wonder if the vid had something to do with that.
Oh.
I wonder if that affected things. And I do think about, we are an individualistic society.
Yep.
And I think that maybe that's starting to play into it. Like, we've been individualistic far too long. I don't know if you've seen that video that was going around. It was something like, these people, this guy saw this little girl doing her homework on the train. He was in, I believe it was Japan. The little girl was doing her homework on the train, and someone was helping her. Well, the little girl gets off the plane, and off the train, and he's like, oh, wait, I thought that was her mother. Turns out it wasn't her mother. It was just some random person. So in Japan and some other Asian countries, there are people, or like the kids go out and do things that we would never have our kids do. Like, I'm sorry, it would not be wise for you to send your 6-year-old on the New York subway.
Yeah.
But in Japan, you can do some things like that because they have decided that it's, according to this video, they have decided that it is society's role to take care of and watch children because it is us, like, as a society, which Americans cannot do that. It's sad that we're at that point, but they just cannot do that. So I also think about that aspect, like, we've kind of moved away from, like, community helping,
random acts of kindness, that kind of thing.
I mean, Matt Walsh, which, the whole thing where you go to the drive-thru, the person in front of you paid for you. Can you want to pay for the person behind? That is not, if you don't do it, I don't think you're a bad person. If you do it, I don't think you're a good person. I think you're something people do. But like Matt Walsh had this whole thing about how, I think it was Matt Walsh. This sounds like something he'd say. He said this whole thing about how, like, oh, it's this terrible. I stopped it when it was on me, and he made this whole long paragraph about how, like, this whole thing is, like, making you pay for other people, and it's like, it's not that serious. But I think the fact that people get upset over that kind of just shows that, like I've had it happen, and I have paid for the person behind me. I've had it happen, and the person behind me got way more than I had, and I said, wow, tell them God bless. But, like,
totally.
You're not a good person either way, and there's nothing to write a whole paragraph about. But I think the fact that it's just like, some people see it as just like this, oh, I can't believe we're doing that type of thing. I think that just kind of shows that, like, where we are as, like, community and, like, helping each other and, like,
yeah, for sure.
Money, not surprised at that either.
No.
Because, I mean, the whole world goes around with money, like. And it
really
only went
does.
from 41 to 43, so it's not that big of a deal. But, like, the world functions because of money. So everybody cares about money. Everybody wants to have a decent life. So.
But some take it too far, right?
Yes. The love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money. Not money, but the love of money. Huh. In the Bible.
Well, we've got another funny one. Or not funny. I mean, it's kind of funny.
It's funny. No, it's funny. So, this is another funny one. It's really quick, and this could be the question that I'll ask on the Spotify. There's a lot of questions I say answer, however, we're going to communicate with us.
Yeah.
So, so this is from 13 News Now. 2 Newport News inmates who escaped from jail were later found at a Hampton IHOP face a judge for the first time since their escape on Wednesday.
Ooh.
I just thought of this. I might text my friends and ask. I think this is the IHOP I used to go to with my friends when I was in Virginia Beach. In the so Hampton, Newport News, Virginia Beach, and a couple other cities. They're called like the 7 cities. So they're all like really close to each other. Portsmouth and a couple others, and I'm pretty sure there might be the IHOP that we used to go to. This is so funny. Oh my
gosh.
So they were found on IHOP. So they got 10 extra years behind bars.
Dang it.
And
don't you hate to see it?
I hate to see it. I wish they could have just sat down and enjoyed it.
Yeah, and then gotten arrested.
Right. I don't know what they did. Damaged property. I don't condone that, but that's not murder.
True. Yeah, when it says like escaped felons, I'm like, oh. Yikes.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh my goodness, and damaged property. Okay.
Yeah.
So my question to you and everyone listening: if you escaped jail and you had $100, where are you going to eat?
I'm taking my husband and I to Chick-fil-A, for sure. And then I'm going to keep another $50 in my pocket, so.
Jail.
What? Hello?
And you're going to... Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think I responded and then, I don't know, you said jail.
Oh, I think there's, a slight delay. Hopefully you can't tell when we edit this. Well, what I was going to say... wait, so you're... And you're going to pick up your husband first? Or are you expecting him to be in jail with you?
Oh, no, I guess I'm expecting to meet me there.
Oh, okay, so somehow you would have communicated with him, hey, we're meeting at Chick-fil-A?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we would have used our sixth sense, and I would have just telepathed the message, obviously.
That's smart. Because if you do it telepathically, they won't be able to intercept.
Yes. And I'll have time to eat my chicken nuggets. So what about you?
Yeah. I think I would go to... I came up with this question, so I should know the answer. I think if I was in jail for a really long time, one thing that I would really, really miss would be sushi. So I think, to be honest, I would go somehow to Virginia Beach. There's this sushi place that's unlimited sushi. It's called Sushi King.
Oh.
And it's so good.
Whoa.
Somehow I would get there and I would just go ahead and just eat all the sushi. You just pay a regular buffet. You can get ginger salad, seaweed salad, and it's just unlimited sushi, all types of sushi. I feel the other thing I love is noodles. I feel in jail you'll have an unlimited amount of noodles. So I'd probably just eat only noodles, but sushi is something I would miss a lot.
I would not miss sushi.
Do you not like sushi?
No.
I did not know that.
I'm not sophisticated enough for it. I don't know.
No, you probably just haven't had the right type of sushi. Have you tried fried sushi before?
No, I have not.
Try that first. We'll figure it out one day.
We'll talk.
Yeah. Okay, so last story is brought to you. It is kind of I have it listed as lighthearted, which the other one technically was more lighthearted. This is just mystery type story.
Yeah.
And it's brought to you by American Woman Beauty. You can head over to AmericanWomanBeauty.net and use the code MAL15 to get 15% off. And listen to episode 180 to hear a little bit about what American Woman Beauty is. Okay, so this is brought to you by the Daily Mail. I actually heard this on another podcast, and I was like, ooh, this is interesting. So, has one of the world's richest men died without anyone noticing?
Died?
Died.
Wow.
Yes.
Died.
The U.S. Treasury reveals it received a $7 billion
That's one
tax
for every
payment,
human on this world.
literally, in estimate. Received a tax payment in estate and gift receipts, meaning an American with a fortune of up to $35 billion has passed away.
Whoa.
The Treasury Department reported it received the $7 billion in estate and gift taxes on February 28th, 2023. With that kind of money, the contributor would have been one of the 100 richest people in the world. The money could have come from a death, a gift to a relative, a divorce from a non-American citizen, or a non-U.S. billionaire paying taxes to the U.S. So it's kind of like, okay, nobody knows who this is. Because usually if someone,
influential dies, you know about it.
They'll report on it. Yeah, but they, on the podcast I was listening, they were saying how, like, everybody's, like, looking and trying to figure out, like who was this? What billionaire just recently died? Or I guess it could be a billionaire who's a non-American, but they're paying taxes in the U.S. But
and that's probably the most likely, considering nobody has any clue.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we have a good idea of who is the richest. I mean, I don't feel like you could possibly have that kind of money and live under the radar.
No. I think if you were to get that type of money, like, there are people who, like, sometimes, depending on who the person is, you can have that type of money and work to be kind of, like, incognito. Like, there are a lot of people, like, super, super rich people that we don't know anything about because they're, like, they don't want people to know that they're super rich. Could never be me, but, you know, that's why I'm probably not rich. But, like, most people, like, will know about it. Like, even if they're trying to be on the DL, you have to know about it because, well, I don't know why you would know about it. I guess you would know about it because they would probably get that, you get that much money through, like, family / starting a business. Yeah. And Forbes
like inheritance.
An inheritance. And if you got it through a business, Forbes is going to find out. And they're going to publish how much money you make. Forbes will read you your rights, whether you want them to or not.
I think for the most part, like, most of our salaries are, like, pretty public. I mean...
Yeah. That too, yeah.
I don't know. It seems very weird, but thank you
weird.
For the $7 billion. I'm sure that helped.
I'm just curious what they're going to do with it. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it did.
I mean, does it help? Like, that kind of money, like, seriously could help our debt, couldn't it?
I think it could. It's just a matter of what is the Treasury going to decide to do with it.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well, rest in peace, rich man or woman.
You're right. Or woman. Why are we saying man? It could be a woman. It could be. We are so sorry.
Iranian
it could be a woman. Yeah. Definitely not an American woman. Okay. Anyway, R.I.P. to the person who passed away and gave us gave the Treasury $7 billion. We're never going to see any of that. And that's today's show. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you share, like, and subscribe however you're listening. Comment on YouTube, on Spotify. Also, you can comment on our website. The blog that we have, there's going to be a blog post with all the stories. If you want to, you can also interact on that. You can interact on the Instagram. Just let us know what your thoughts are. Just we can have a conversation dialogue. Let us know if you think they should release the manifesto. Let us know an idea you think that should happen in regards to like, what are we going to do about the guns and the kids and the schools? Like, how are we going to fix this? What are some ideas you have? And lastly, let us know if you were to have $100 after you've been in jail, where would you go?
Where would you go?
Where would you go? If you have not already, at this point, go ahead and leave a 5-star review. We'd greatly appreciate it.
Go ahead, do it.
If not already, go ahead and leave a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, actually. Both of them you can leave reviews.
Yeah, perfect.
And make sure you're following on Spotify. Yeah.
Come to the tea party. 4 more tickets, babe.
Yes, 4 more tickets, tea party. Come. I guess that's it. Thank you for listening, wherever you're listening. Bye.
Bye.